Good morning, church family. My name is Dr. Muriel Celestine Raphael. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers and grandmothers here and in our hearts. I thank God for the opportunity to be before you. I thank the esteemed Lady B and the Mother's Day Committee for bestowing this honor upon me. I'm humbled to be asked to speak to you on this very special day. I would like to honor the memories and legacies of my grandmothers. The late Mrs. Antonia Celestine. My maternal grandmother, the late Marie Chudon Berry, left us this past December at the blessed age of 103. I mention them because without them, there would be no me or my parents. They are not the subject on which I was asked to speak, but they are the foundations of my lineage. I would be remiss if I did not mention them. I am here today to speak to you about my mother, Micheline. I was asked to speak about how she sacrificed for myself and my sisters to attain our education. When I received this request, I put the phone down and shook my head. I didn't answer Lady B for 2 days as I prayed, lamented, and sought counsel from friends and family. The simple truth, church family, is I don't know how she did it. I do know that myself, my sisters, Lynn Celestine Anthony Esquire, and Major Dr. Ruth Celestine Marable are forever indebted to her and my family. This is also not an easy task because, to put it quite simply, I am in awe of my parents and their achievements. That little woman that you guys see every Sunday has pulled off quite a few feats. You see, defying the odds is not anything she's not used to doing. She came to this country from Haiti with her cousin, sharing the money given to them by their families. In turn, she was to find employment, a place to live, learn the language, and send for her mother and 6 siblings. She met and married a young man with the same commitment. Together, they completed everything on their checklist and more. So knowing all of this as children, how could we look at these 2 individuals and tell them we couldn't, we can't, we won't, we're tired? These words were not an option. My mommy practiced what she preached and was an example to us. I don't remember a time she wasn't learning. Education was important to her, so she made sure it was important to us. This was embedded in her by my grandmother. She wasn't a learned woman, but she labored relentlessly to put her children into the best schools. As a young child, I remember my mother always going to school and working. When she decided to go to nursing school, she adopted a method of studying. She would sit at the kitchen table with her coffee, blanket over her legs and or shoulders. There would be a pile of books over to the side with her notebooks for different subjects. This image was so ingrained in each and every one of us that we, without even knowing, adopted the same style to study. My mother executed her goals. If we had a goal, we were to see it through. My mother had no problem letting us see and know how hard she and my father worked to provide for us. Going to school was our job, so we had to put in the work. When you as a child are made aware of the fact that you are poured into, you feel a responsibility to finish. We as her children knew and know that we are and were her everything. We were her savings, her vacation, her pension, her stocks, and her bonds. If you know my mother like we do, we were going to make good on all of her returns. Our jobs were to produce. There was no losing or quitting. This was not to say there would not be setbacks. If a door closed, we came home, cried, prayed, regrouped, and made a window. She was there to support and help us. There was no limit to the amount of jobs or hours to ensure we graduated from college virtually debt-free. Like kids around us, we were not rewarded for good grades. Good grades were not an option. We were to always do our best. During her last semester of nursing school, there was a teacher known for failing students. Her class was extremely hard. If you failed her class, you would have to wait until next year to take the class. I overheard my mother on the phone speaking about this. She was unhappy about her last grade and went to speak to the teacher. I overheard my mom saying to on the phone that the teacher said, "Michelin, it's okay. You can retake the class." My mom said she fought back tears, looked that teacher straight in the eye and said, "I am not taking this class over. I have put my children's life on hold to finish school. I will finish with my class." She passed that class and graduated that year. We were taught we represented her wherever we went. We were children of immigrants in towns and neighborhoods where we were the only ones. Every day we stepped outside, we were to put our best foot forward so no one could discount what they saw. But above all else, she taught us none of this is impossible without God. She was our first Christian educator. She armed us with a relationship with God. She shielded us with Bible verses and the Our Father. Every night we prayed together and gave everything to God. So we know how to fight because she raised 3 Christian warriors. When we studied and studied and studied and studied and studied and cried and studied, it was verses like Exodus 14:14 that was taught to me at a very young age that got me through. L'Éternel combattra pour vous et vous gardez le silence. The Lord will fight for you and you have only to be silent. I did not appreciate the silent part much when I was younger, but now see that my mother's greatest strength was her silence. In this silence she stood. In it, she continues to pray for us when we can't. When I asked God for the words to write this, I heard pursuit, persistence, and plan. I wrote them down, prayed harder, and received these words: example, execution, and excellence. She is my example of the Proverbs woman. She has executed more than she could ever dream of. She is excellent. She enables me to be a good mother. Every day I pray to be half the mother that she is. Today I extol her for all that she has done for our family. And when I see her today, I will tell her I love her and I thank you. Happy Mother's Day.